Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Live Reality Games, the network of creators making your favorite shows into our reality. We're back, friends. I'm super pumped. We are here to talk about Survivor 42, episode 2, called Good and Guilty. And there are some good and there are some very guilty in this episode that I can't wait to break down. Our takeover this week is none other than the first season of Survivor Canberra. With us, you will know one of our fellow podcasters, Vince. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
It's always good to have you, buddy, and I can't wait to hear your take, spicy take on this season of contestants.
Actually, I did the season 41 on the second episode as well, so it's going to be a tradition maybe going forward.
This is the new thing here, folks. Joining Vince and I this season is none other than Brendan, one of the contestants in Survivor Canberra. Welcome, Brendan.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Super stoked to have you, Brendan. First off, what's your take of the first two episodes of Survivor 42?
I'm gonna start off by saying straight out. See, I didn't watch as much as season 41. Like, that's on me. I was very naughty. So a lot of these challenges that are happening are quite and twists and new because I didn't quite watch all of 41. So I'm looking forward to that. The first episode was interesting. I mean, I'm very quick to judge people when they first start out. So my first page of notes on episode 1 has changed significantly to episode 2. So I was very, very surprised by a few people.
Same. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear some of these specifics as we get into talking about the contestants. Vince, we watched 41 together, or we watched episode 2 together, and you filled you out on the rest, and you watched the rest. But you've been exposed now to the beware advantages, and now we have amulets. There's all sorts of twists they're throwing at us. Let's start with the cast. What do you think about casting for 42?
I feel like it's way, way, way better than season 41. I love everyone. When I'm watching this today, I was like literally saying to myself, I don't want any of these people to go. I love them all. I just feel it's just bring back the Survivor experience I had before, the older seasons. You just love everyone. You don't want anyone to go, and it just makes me feel in love in Survivor again after season 41.
That's so cool. I'm excited to hear Brendan's kind of spicy takes, how it's flipped from episode 1 to episode 2. Who kind of sticks out to you as having a different take on them?
Well, initially I really was drawn to Marianne in episode 1. I thought she was going to be very endearing, and her confidence and just her it's a personality you don't see very often in these games, so it was a joy to see. But come episode 2, I've gone off the bandwagon. I think she's going to be grating, and I think it's probably a bit over the top. I don't know if it's 100% real or it is just her, but she's sort of plummeted down my list episode 2.
I could see that. It makes my heart hurt, Brendan, because I don't know what it is about her. She's at tribal council and she's making me laugh and smile at home. I literally was smiling, and I don't know what it is about her that can do that. To me, it's disarming. Snyder just posted that it's infectious to him. But last week, and even during the draft, people were saying how they thought that it might get a little grating, a little irritating after a while. So what we're seeing is clips, but if she's doing that literally 24/7, I think it was Mariah that said this is happening at 100 all the time. That might be too much to take.
It would be hard, I think, if you're there. We only see obviously small snippets, but if you're spending 24 hours a day with Mary, I think you'd want to run into the ocean, not come back, I think, after a while.
Yeah. It's so It's so tragic. We're getting a little feedback, so we want to check that we're just muting in between speaking, it says. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got it. We got this, folks. This is not our first rodeo. but leave us a reminder in the comments if it happens and we can't hear it. This is something that is strange. So this is, in Survivor history, the first 2 episodes ever to truly have unanimous votes because of the twist, the shot in the dark, ever. Zach voted out last episode unanimously, and this episode, I think there's one vote that was not revealed, but we can assume that it was Mariah. Here's a quick take on this, Vince. Did they put Marianne and Mariah on the same team because the first 5 letters of their name are the same? That was irritating. I'm like, who are they voting for? They wrote her name.
I was thinking when is it Omar they show, or is it Lindsay? I can't remember. They wrote M-A. I was like, oh no, Marianne, and then I was like, oh, you know what? They have the same letters.
Okay, so right now to give a little recap of what powers are in play. So currently on the Marianne's tribe, Marianne just received the extra vote. I really thought she, at least from what was presented, I was like, is she going to use it?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like there's something that happened that made Marianne confident she wasn't going home. I really do. She looked nervous though. Did you see her like shaking her leg? Like she looked like she was like uncomfortable a bit. I don't know if she was 100% certain.
Maybe it's just there's always possibility that she's going, but I think they really laid it out there because I think Maria has that story about burying her necklace. I think they would want to sort of honor her the wishes or something, but she still had the necklace when she left, so I don't know whether they did straight up tell her that you're going home.
I mean, maybe it's the curse of the older woman as well. I mean, she is one of the oldest women there. It's traditional that they are, one of the first to go. So maybe she, maybe she knew the writing was on the wall, at that trouble.
It's so true and sad that she couldn't figure out how to land herself in more of the mothering role. That's what I was hoping. Personally, she was in my draft, so I was hoping she could like mother all of these younger people. But literally, if you look at her tribe, that's not the makeup of the people she was with. I really think she would have been better off on Taku, potentially. I think Hai and Lydia, maybe she could have mothered a little. I don't know if you can really mother Hai, but potentially I think she could have done better with a different group of people or with a bigger group of people, which I want to get to because I'm kind of over these 6-person tribes, CBS, like 3 tribes with 6 people. Why don't we expand it to 7? 7's fun. 8 is even funner. Like why can't we have 24 people? I don't understand. Like there's room to move and shake with like 7 people. 6 people, there's barely anything you can do except hope for an advantage from Shipwreck Island.
That is true, but I think because of 26 days, I don't think you can expand the cast any further. But I feel like 24 is a bit too much. Unless you have the Australian Survivor sort of the length episode, then obviously that's better. But with what we have right now, I don't. And yeah, but the editing to this season has been great, so no complaints from me.
Yeah, they went over a lot. I did misspeak. Mariah was on Taku. I was referring to Vati, I think. I'm still getting the names together. Orange, whatever.
Green, whatever the color.
Yeah, whatever color it is. Oh, I don't know. So basically, the other advantage on Taku, let me get this right, is Lindsay. Now, we're calling this an advantage, but like we said at the end of last season, everything in Survivor was a disadvantage last season in US Survivor. So I think this is going to follow the case potentially. Lindsay has the amulet. I don't know. I don't think we should call it amulet. Maybe we should call it the bounty on your head. This is a terrible power. this is an awful advantage in my opinion. Vince, what do you think about the amulets?
I really love the amulet idea, but the only thing I would tweak it is that you can use it like because I think you have to use 3 amulet to have 1 extra vote. So if I think that's a bit kind of stupid because why would you want to have 3 to have an extra vote? So I don't think that's ever going to happen. So they could have just make it like if there's 3 in play, then if the first one will play it will have the extra vote, and then the second person will play it will have steal a vote, and the last person who had it will be in an idol. So that will be more interesting than just having all 3 of them, use it all together for just one measle advantage, where you can get it for like pretty much free in the Secret Island.
True. That's very true. Like that's a lot easier way to go about it potentially. Brendan, what's your take on the amulets of disadvantage?
Well, it seems like it's a lot of work for a little reward. I just don't see the advantage of just the extra vote at the end. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's enough for what they're risking, because at the end of the day, they are risking their game to try and win an extra vote. It just seems like it's a bit of maybe a last minute, thought process by the producers. I just don't see I don't see it as a reward, to be honest with you. I think it's a pointless sort of. What Vince was saying was much better. It should be more of a laddered situation. If you're out first, you get the first extra vote. If you're at the end and you've got the amulet left, then yeah, an idol. I think that would be better to play for, to be honest.
I'm convinced that Survivor, at least US Survivor, loves the aha, I gotcha moment. And this is what I really think. I think they want the first person to play the amulet and go, we're playing our amulets. But then Vince and Brendan go, nope, we're not playing our amulets now. So you basically flush mine, get a power play, make fun of me on national TV, and then both of you can potentially steal a vote or use an idol. And I think the second tier is a lot more powerful. Like steal a vote, that's a good one.
That is true. Actually, I think that's way better. It works better in tribal, like instead of have 3 people stand up and give it, then you like all 3 like plot. Okay, we do this. Or I don't know. Yeah, maybe what you say is right. I don't know. Yeah.
It's complicated. I think this is what Marianne was talking about. Like you have so many plans in Survivor, like you have plan A, plan B, but then Brendan brings a shot in the dark to tribal. And now I have plan A and subsection B, because I'm not sure if he's going to use it or not. Oh, Vince, this is also the 3rd time we saw the shot in the dark get played. And this is the 3rd time it did not matter.
That's just proof you 1 in the 6 chances. It's really the odds is not in your favor.
So wait a second. Why does the shot in the dark get 1 in 6 chance? But then when we had that weird twist last season where he had to pick 1 out of 3 boxes, why was that not 1 out of 6? I'm confused. This isn't fair. Survivor needs to figure out their odds.
That is true. I actually don't know why. Is it because there are 6 people in the starting tribe that's like stuck to them, like 1 in the 6 chances? Could be that.
I'm having major deja vu from exactly 1 season ago. I feel like we had the same conversation, but we were just confused how they'd even play the shot in the dark at episode 2 because it made no sense. Oh, did you notice that Jeff changed it up? This is like watching season 1 Borneo. Oh, you caught that. So he's like, Mariah, give that to me.
Yes.
Girl, bring me the scroll. What happened? Brendan, what happened? Why does Jeff not want us to read the scrolls anymore?
I that was the first thing I noticed when he asked her, because I was thinking, oh, hang on, she's got to undo it, reveal it herself. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'll take it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I have no idea. Who knows?
Maybe something happened with Zach though. That like something happened, they'll be like, nah, let me do it.
Okay, so theoretically, Brendan, let's say Mariah picks the safety and Jeff reads it, and what happens next, Brendan?
That's what I was asking people last week. So I was like, what on earth happens if Zach pulled it out and he is safe? Like, do they just? Well, I don't think we've seen it before. So do they? It's just a simple revote, or like what is the situation?
I think it'll be a revote.
That's so
And
weird.
Zach's safe. So, I mean, it would be interesting to see, because then everyone else who was majority now have to stab one of them. So that would have been interesting to see. Obviously, tonight would have been a simple sort of scenario. I mean, they had two options. It would have either been Marianne or Mariah. So
Yeah, that would have been crazy, because then Mariah's, that's correct, because I see Snyder saying Zach would have been immune. Yeah, so clearly they'd be immune. So then you would revote with one player being immune. It's kind of like almost redundant, because you have to just vote again. But I guess it's better than drawing rocks. At least it allows them to make the decision and we get to see it play out. Maybe not super exciting. I think Survivor's looking for more bang for its buck, but in the case of it,
I would prefer to see like Zach not or whoever's doing it not lose their vote. So it's just down to that one vote, and it'd be interesting to see where their head's at. And that would make it interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's speak a little bit on the I say Ica because we stan Ica from Big Brother Canada, but I think it's pronounced Ika, our Ika Blue tribe that we don't know much about. Just to recap on powers and abilities, Queen Drea from last episode still has +1 vote at the end of the episode, and she also has the amulet of disadvantageous power. So she's sitting on that lucky son of a gun. And Drea is in kind of a good situation. She's kind of finagling between alliances. People might be kind of getting an eye on it as we see Swati kind of worried about Drea, as she says Drea reveals all her powers to her, and then Swati is instantly concerned and is like not as much about this female empowerment alliance as Drea is.
I actually don't know why. I mean, it's good to like have that back in your mind, but I think if they're solid in the All Girls Alliance, there's no need to target Drea, because that her extra vote could help you down in the future if you stay in it. But I just wondering, is it just that extra vote? Does it? I think it caused a lot of panic between Swati, and I feel like maybe you need to chill and see how the relationship between all three, like how solid it is before targeting Drea, or before like putting her name out there.
Yeah, I wonder if
I think with Swati, sorry.
Take it away, Brendan.
I think with Swati, I think she's probably a very fierce, like, independent woman. I don't think she's in it for a girls' alliance. I don't think she was ever that interested in just an all-girls alliance. And the fact that, I mean, I've put Drea down as one of my winners picks. And Tori, for that matter, after the first episode. Tori, this episode, didn't really see much of her. So I think Tori's going to go along with what Swati has to say. I don't know if she's going to go along with Drea as much, but I think Swati's very aware and switched on very early. So it could be good or bad for her at this stage.
Now, we saw Drea confess her powers and advantages to the players. Did Tori reveal that she did not have a vote and that she had the beware advantage? I don't remember her saying anything to anyone.
No, she hasn't found it yet.
Oh, wait.
That wasn't the
preview. Has it?
Yeah, that wasn't the preview.
Oh.
Like a foreshadow and like episode 1.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, usually our spoilers are from the current episode. Apparently, our previews are predicting. I literally wrote it down already. I was like, she had to have found this in episode 1. Okay, so Tori has not found the beware advantage, but she might.
Yes.
Okay. Weird. Interesting. And Benjamin is predicting, or Snyder's predicting a Tori win. I will tell you, Dustin whenever Tori's on screen, like Dustin freaks out. I mean, she's a member of the LRG community. She started, with Sequester and other things. So we'll see how well she got herself out of the hole last week. That's a thing. Let's head over and talk about Taku really quick. Just the really quick. Vati. From episode 1, we have Hai, who has the amulet of no power. And I guess the first Beware advantage is with Mike finding it.
Yes. Can I just say I think this is the first time we've seen the idols being hidden and then they couldn't find it like that. Because I always been like, oh, do they remember where they put it? And this is the first time I've seen it, like they're trying to figure out where did they put it.
Well, it's funny too, because the cameramen have to know, right? Like they have to have it on film so they could like go back in the footage and find it. I love that the preview showed us that he couldn't find it again.
I wonder, it would be so funny. Because he can't remember the phrases, so he'll be lost his boat to like the merch if they can't find it.
Merch, yeah. I don't think he will find it. I think he's not that switched on in regards. I mean, I had Mark down as first boot in my list. He survived that, but I mean, I don't know how much longer he's going to be around for, to be honest with you.
He has such a big heart, though. I mean, oh, you're right, though. Come on. He has no vote right now. Clearly nobody else has found it, so we're going to be stuck in the same scenario that what's his name was Xander in season 41, where Xander had no vote until the merge, and then basically had no agency and could not escape from that either. Like there was nothing he could do to win that game, in my opinion, because of the disadvantage. Oh, Dustin. Any similarities between this cast and yours? Want to spill any tea, Brendan?
I don't know what he's referring to. I don't know this. I mean, are we as thick as Mike? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
So this episode, we got a lot before we went even to the immunity challenge for Survivor. I mean, they gave us for our US, they gave us 30 full minutes of tribe life. Like, what is this? I was thrilled. We started at the Ika tribe, and they were talking about the aftermath of the vote, and they really wanted to keep Tori comfy. I found that interesting, and I kept wondering if the whole episode I was like, who is being real to Tori, or is Tori still the bottom and they just don't want her to know it? I could not figure out if Tori was actively switching that or if they were just placating Tori. What do you guys think?
We actually missed the first few minutes because the technical difficulties. Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
The TV fritzes sometimes. You never know what happens. So anyways, Dreas looks at them and Dreas like, it's only going to get worse, which I thought was such a wonderful potential title for the episode because that's every Survivor season. It never gets better. It always gets harder. Good and Guilty is a good one, but here are two others. Sometimes I like to grab some. I really liked... where is it? Oh, I lost my titles. I'll find them later. There was a couple good ones during the challenge.
Oh, you mean by Daniel? You gotta always protect your balls or something.
Vince, I love you, man. That is totally the best title ever. You always gotta protect the balls, man. God, Roxroy, what were you thinking? And then also, somebody said, "Don't freak out," which I just think is always a good standard Survivor rule.
Mm-hmm.
Just try not to freak out. So to recap, then we went to the Vati tribe, and we find out Hai is a vegan. And they don't have rice.
We missed that too.
Or beans. Guys, this is some like moral choices. This is coming from somebody who was a vegetarian for 10 years of his life. And I still kind of every once in a while just pretend to be a vegetarian for a day when I have like acid reflux and feel bloated. Like I'll be like, okay, I'll eat a salad again for a second. We'll see what happens. He loses it. There's no rice. There's no coconut. Hai starts crying. I actually did not peg him for a crier in the first few days of Survivor. And we see Daniel and Chanel comfort him, which I think could be there for a reason besides potentially this story about Hai. The takeaway is, guys, he ate the crab. He is no longer a vegetarian. Now, will his ethics in Survivor mirror his ethics in his dietary lifestyle?
Maybe he's a pescatarian now. He eats seafood, but just seafood. And
oh no, he said vegan, and I know vegans. Okay, so here's a short story. So when COVID hit, I decided I wanted to do Instagram. So I just started taking pictures of food. And so sometimes I would make something that'd be vegetarian. Like I would love my avocado toast and I'd put fancy stuff on it. Well, then all these vegan sites start commenting on it. Anyway, long story short, I got invited into all of these vegan like chats on Instagram with like hundreds of people. And it was like this like rigmarole of everybody liking and following each other's posts ad nauseum 24/7 all around the world, to the point where I was like, I can't, this isn't me. I felt like I was lying. Like, I'm not really a vegan. I eat honey. I eat ribs and hamburgers.
So, fun fact to everyone who wants to boost up their Instagram followers, maybe just start hashtag vegan. Vegan for life.
That's one of them. And if you don't use them all, you might be in trouble from the group chat. So watch out for those Instagrammers, folks. Anyways, then we jump over to Taku. And we have, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but Marianne did an impression of Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Yes, I saw that.
She's crazy.
But and then you have that moment where people were saying like, that's 24/7, you know, it's fine if it's small doses, but then you have to live with that for like so long. I for sure, I don't think I can cope as well. It's just, you're constantly on 100%. You're like, just like chill.
I think that's gonna get a lot. As I've already said, it's just I couldn't personally. I mean, I'm grating at the best of times, and that's listening to my own voice. So if I had to listen to somebody else for that long, I don't know how they're doing it. Like, hats off to them.
She reminds me, because I'm a teacher, she reminds me of that really excited student to come to class that's like, hi, teacher, good morning, and like greets you every single day, even when you're like, I didn't have a cup of coffee this morning. Hi, teacher. But she also reminds me of somebody, I'm not even going to say her name, a dear friend of mine in the LRG community that also has maybe not found love in their life. And if for some reason someday Marianne stumbled upon this random video, I would say, keep waiting, girl. Always be yourself. Don't pretend to be anybody else, because they'll fall in love with somebody else. Just be yourself and wait for that person that loves you. If you're an apple, you can only be the very best apple you can be. You can never be a banana. So don't be a banana, because you'll be the second best banana in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
That said,
it's true.
So Vince, this was kind of different. A lot of times in at least US Survivor, they don't talk about faith. I've noticed this for a while, or it's briefly mentioned, and it was briefly mentioned, but we have a moment where we have a 3 people strong in faith of 3 different faiths working together. We have Omar, who comes out as a Muslim. Jonathan comes out as a Christian. That's not really the word I should be using. And then Lindsay says, "I'm not the best Jew," which I died laughing.
Yes.
I love that.
I actually love because it hasn't been shown. I think only in Palau it showed a little bit like I think I can't remember Ismail or I can't Abraham or something. Ibrahim, yeah, he was Muslim. I think that's the first time they've shown it, and then this is the second time possibly they've shown a Muslim. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the show, and then you have all three people commenting like, "Oh, I have different, different faith and different religions." So it's kind of nice. It's just like this is what Survivor for me, like just different people coming together.
I'm all for it. I love seeing strength in any kind. Dustin has a question for Brendan.
It was Janine versus Laura in the tug of war, I think. And Marianne. Oh, Marianne, sorry. I'm getting confused. No, Janine still wins. I mean, Janine is just a queen of tugging that rope. I mean,
I want to make a joke, but I don't want to.
You don't even need to make a joke, Vince. I'm going to make the t-shirts. This one's to Vince. Josh.
Wait, Jonathan? Is it the Jonathan the host or like the Australian Survivor?
No, I think you're talking about the big bulking Jonathan on there.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
An even bigger dude.
Obviously, the big dude. He always say like he was like the record holder of like doing what's that bench or I don't know, like is it push up or something like the world record or something.
Pull up.
I mean, Josh has missed leg day and arms. So I mean, there's not a lot of hope there.
Yeah, Jonathan can carry like all of us on his back across Fiji, swim us home, and still win Survivor and be back for the final vote. Why do I get okay? I have not watched every single episode of any season of Australian Survivor because there's a lot. But I keep getting like, I know I didn't watch David, I didn't watch The Golden God, I only saw clips, but I feel like the focus on Jonathan is kind of like uber positive, like I felt like The Golden God got. I feel like he's getting such a strong positive edit right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think too. Like you have that moment with Omar, like with that unlikely draw, and then you got that relationship with Lindsay. So he's been set up. I think he's in a really good position, which is really rare to have a big guy. Possibly because the tribe is down to 4 people or 5 originally, so they really need the muscle, and he is the muscle. He is the anchor. So there's no way in hell they're going to get rid of him.
No, they can't afford to lose him. Not yet. Yeah.
That's so true. Like if they lose him now, what are they going to do? But let's like go back to their tribe, guys. Like we've all played Survivor, or our versions of Survivor. Imagine it's your first tribal council. Jonathan, Omar, Lindsay, and Marianne are 4 people. You're like literally 4 people. You went to 1 tribal. This has got to be like fracking difficult. Like what do you do? Like I would be praying for a swap. We know there's no swap coming. And I'm surprised they didn't win. Or that somebody else didn't lose the challenge, to be honest.
I was hoping for the Red Tribe to lose, to be honest, so we can have like even 5-5-5. But I really don't like the direction because I really like everyone in the green. Like I love Jonathan, Omar, Lindsay, and Marianne. I just don't want to see them. I don't want to go through the same like what they did to last the one with Shan and Ricard. Like I can't remember the tribe name, but I don't want it down to 2. I want 4 to in the game, so
yeah, that was the Ua tribe, and I felt like they even missed out on a great Stephanie LaGrossa moment by not having them go a little further and maybe have to make fire for the final 2 before the actual final 2. Also, just another shout out. Like, I don't know why, but Mariah in the face always gave me Stephanie LaGrossa vibes.
Yeah.
Every single time I saw her.
They look
Just
kind
the
of
face.
similar. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
they're really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the facial structure.
Mm.
Which then, last episode, Daniel pops his shoulder out, and I was like, oh my God, Stephanie LaGrossa vibes. Like, what is happening here? And look, she got voted out second. And didn't Stephanie LaGrossa get voted out second in Heroes versus Villains? No?
Yes.
Second or third? It's close.
Second. Close. I think it's second, yes.
Oh my gosh. The spirit of LaGrossa is here, back with us. Yeah, that was a really nice moment with Jonathan and Omar. I really feel like there's got to be more teeth to this relationship because they gave us a full couple minutes of these two guys chatting and hanging out. And then we see the girls chatting, but they're not bonding the same way that these guys are. You know, we see Mariah.
I think Omar's gonna learn from Jonathan for a period of time. You know, he's got a lot there to learn. He wants to learn about, you know, probably being the top dog. And I reckon he will probably swing first when it comes to merge to try and get rid of Jonathan. That's just a feeling I've got. I think, but I think for now, he wants to learn as much as he can before merge. That way he can, you know, work on his own.
Mariah tells a very heartbreaking story. And they talk about Mariah not loosening up to a lot of people, but she has a moment where she confesses a big loss that was a lot bigger than I would have ever predicted. So I think it was brother, am I correct?
Yes.
Who was a nurse, was the first nurse lost in the States to COVID-19. And she hasn't fully grieved. And she wears his picture on a necklace that she's going to bury on Fiji. And yet she's the person you might be voting out. This is going to sound terrible. Could this also be a tactic? Could there be emotional play in this? Can it be both? Can something be both truth and a gameplay at the same time? I guess is the question I want to make.
It can. It can.
I'm not sure.
I think she wants to pull at the heartstrings a little bit, and I think that may have been her effort to try and sway the vote to, in case it was her. Marianne's sort of doing a similar tactic with I'm a 23-year-old virgin, never been in love. So I mean, that's also trying to pull at someone's heartstrings. That I mean, I'm a 35-year-old. I've never been in love either. So I mean, get in line, girlfriend. That's all I can say. But you know, I think she's trying to manipulate a little bit. I think she's a bit clever than we give her credit for in regards to that.
So, you know, we've already spoiled the ending of this episode. I'm hoping Mariah finds peace at the jury house before they leave to go on vacation, and she can take that moment or goes through it. So I'm going to be invested in listening to you, Mariah, in some of your exit interviews on Rob as a Podcast and other stations, because I'd love to hear about that story some more. And we cut to Vita again before we end up going to the challenge. I just want to bring up this. This is the moment we talked about where Mike can't find the idol. He tells Daniel, last week, my brother was on the podcast, and he's a player of one of these games as well. And him and his girlfriend were debating that they didn't think Daniel came across as a smart player or an intellectual. And to me, he did. I'm going to double down on it this week. I still perceive him as intellectual, and I think he said it himself. I'm a numbers guy. Like, he's going to be the one that can crunch that and figure out when Mike should play it.
And Mike said to himself, like, you're a smart guy. You should, he's like, I need to tell Daniel because he's a smart guy. He's going to help me figure it out. So there you go. Perception is king.
But he can't find it.
I reckon Daniel will find it. and not tell Mike that he's got it. Could be a play by him. Yes, episode 1, Daniel, to me, I rolled and thought, oh God, his arm's gone in the first 5 minutes. He's no hope. This side, I've seen a little bit. Yeah, I think he's teaming up with the right people, and I reckon you actually go far. To be honest with you, first episode I thought he was just like, oh God, this guy, get rid of him. But I mean, he's gone up the ladder.
I can absolutely see that too, but especially if Chanel does not reveal that he told her about the idol. I think if Chanel goes to Mike, Daniel's game goes a big hot mess. So I think he's walking the edge of a cliff, and this could be such a good move. Like, this will get him further down the cliff, or he's going to slide down inevitably and crash and burn. This is like risky business, my friend Daniel, and I'm here for it. I like his gameplay. I think it's fun.
It's also that tribe. It's kind of split into 3 fractions. So you have Hai and Lydia, and then you have Mike and Jenny, and then you have Daniel and Chanel. So if the 4 team up, so Hai and Lydia will probably on the outs. So maybe they do want to work together. The 4 form a strong 4, and then they probably vote out Hai and Lydia with a chance they got.
So basically, we have these pairs together. So Vince, who are you saying? Who you think? Like, which 2 would go together?
I think Mike, Jenny, Daniel, and Chanel will go together because we had, Mike trusted Daniel to tell him about the idol. So, and because we haven't seen the interaction apart from hugging Hai, we haven't seen any other interaction between Lydia and Hai between those 4. So logically, I think the edit's telling us that those going to form a big 4, and then they're going to vote out Hai and Lydia the chance they got.
Interesting. So, and currently, Mike has no vote, but that still puts them at a 3-2 advantage. The only thing that could get in the way is maybe Shipwreck Island, which they did not go to this episode.
Yes.
Yeah, this shocked me. I do think there was one episode in 41 where they just were like, we're not going to the island. We're out of gas. Gas is expensive. Thanks, Russia. Oh, I probably should.
But I think
edit.
Is it because they understand that it's too many advantages and too many screen time? Maybe they did go and didn't show because everyone protect their vote or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's it. If there's like a situation that's not very relevant to the gameplay later, maybe they just don't keep it in. But I was like, oh, okay. We are just playing for reward. So it was an immunity and reward challenge. There's no Shipwreck Island or advantages. We have a massive fishing gear set for both of the first 2 tribes to finish the blindfold challenge. Brendan, you're surviving for 4 days on Fiji. How bad do you want the fishing gear?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of in storage, but I mean, some of these people are quite thin. So I mean, I don't know how Romeo and all that would be surviving 4 days without food. I mean, there's nothing off the poor guy. But I mean, it's you would be desperate at this stage. Anything just to occupy your time as well. Like the fishing gear, yes, it is beneficial for food, but I mean, it's also a chance to get out and bond with people and fish together. And I think it's very important at this stage.
You too, Vince. Would you play it all out for the fishing gear? Are you a fisher?
Yeah.
Would you be out in the ocean?
Well, I'm not really a good swimmer, so probably not. But I will hang out with people if they go swimming, if they go fishing.
So this is one of the blindfold mess challenges. Whenever you have 3 teams and each team has somebody screaming across the field, it is very difficult to listen. Yeah, there's so much we could talk about. So we have Drea, Lydia, and Jonathan chosen as the callers. It is your traditional challenge, folks. We are going to be digging in some sawdust. We are going to be running into barrels with our balls. We are going to be spinning ourselves till we're sick, but we're blindfolded anyways, and also handling our rope very well, similar to contestants on Canberra as well. So yeah, it's a great challenge. It's fun to watch. It's riveting. It's not anything new. You've seen all of it before. It's the traditional, well, it's a puzzle, but they do it where the players are blindfolded as they solve it. It's a traditional challenge. We've seen it a lot. It's fun to watch. What did you think, Brendan?
Look, I never, when these people go into these challenges, obviously they can see what's in front of them before they're blindfolded. So I would be already thinking about, if I'm the one blindfolded, where I need to be, what, and sort of put a play in play before you even get the blindfold on, so you know exactly what you're doing. These people are wandering off left, right, and centre. But I would have thought Jonathan, of all people, his voice would have been the only one I would have been able to hear, because it was, it's a strong, loud voice, but it just didn't seem to resonate with the people who were blindfolded. So that was very bizarre.
That is interesting. Vince, what's your take for choosing a caller? What type of voice are you looking for?
Project, so someone can project their voice loud, but you also have to take into component that it's a puzzle at the end that you have to solve, so the caller has to be equally good at puzzle as well. So I was surprised Jonathan was being chosen. I was like, oh, is Jonathan the puzzle guy? Because he did say, like, he's maybe he's like, no, we're not good at puzzle or something, I don't know, but
yeah,
I was surprised that he was chosen.
Can we just rewind and put Mary Ann as the caller and just see how interesting that would have been?
Oh my God. First off, they probably would have won, only because she's so loud.
Yes.
Secondly, she's probably better at the puzzle. I think I can't remember if she was with Jonathan's group because Jonathan, if you remember, during the puzzle was like, wasn't he the one that was like, I can't do this? Like, I swear it was Jonathan that
I'm pretty sure he wasn't able to be a puzzle guy. I'm pretty sure that's what he is. He's the muscle, not so much the brain.
I'm literally going back to episode 1 notes right now because I'm like, who else was with him? I remember 3 people walked off. And
you mean at the end of the puzzle? I think it's Omar and Marion who did the puzzle at the end.
That's right. That is correct. So yeah, that's a great note. It's almost like this tribe forgot what made them successful in the past and tried something new rather than the old standard.
Is it possible Jonathan is too big and then it's hard to, you kind of want people with the same height to go with? I don't know. So I don't know what the decision.
I mean, I think Jonathan could have just dragged them along for the ride, really. I mean, I think.
Yeah, instead of holding their hands, he just should have piled them all on his back. did 100 push-ups and then gone out and did the challenge, because we want those pecs studly, Jonathan, massive when you take your shirt off. So make sure you just do a couple chin-ups. The fans need it. I just still can't get past that there's only 4 people in their tribe and it's day 5. It is shocking. So they win their rewards. Daniel was the one who sat out. Probably, honestly, I don't know if I'd want to sit out the blindfold challenge. I think it's an easy one to be in and to save your sit out for something scary. Jump off this 100-foot platform into the ocean full of sharks. Scary.
Yeah.
I thought Daniel would have wanted to prove something by staying in this challenge, especially after what happened last challenge. But he was pretty quick to put his hand up and say, me,
Brendan, that's a point too. I mean, he did just dislocate his shoulder, so maybe they're afraid that he's going to run into the logs that are out there. That makes sense. So I kind of have a different take. So I have a musical background, guys. I did music comp in school. I direct musicals. So one of the things about music is that the human ear kind of gravitates towards higher pitches. That's why the soprano line is so often the melody line. So whenever I get to these challenges, I always look for the person that has the highest pitch in their voice as opposed to just loudness. I've won and lost these challenges too, so this is not always the greatest thing, but that's always been a thing I look for, is like a higher resonance. Maybe it's just me.
Kirk, who has the highest pitch in the three of us? Just a question.
Oh, is it me? Do I go up high?
I think so.
It's me. I'm the caller. Okay, Brendan, put on a blindfold. Turn your cameras around. We're going live, baby. This is for immunity. Okay, so we're pretty much at Tribal Council. I mean, this was a really good episode, guys. It really focuses on camp life. It doesn't give us a ton of like advantage talk. I mean, Drea pretty much talks about advantages, but other than that, we have a great episode, and then we head right into Tribal Council. And right before Tribal Council, the aftermath of the vote, we see Jonathan playing both sides, telling us, I'm playing both sides. We have Omar kind of doing the same, but he seems to me, when I was taking notes, I put, he trusts Mariah more. That didn't really turn out.
Yeah, I struggle with the decisions. I don't know why did they choose the way they choose, but you know.
I just hope that Mariah, I think Mariah could have helped them in the next challenge more than May. If it's not a puzzle related challenge, then I don't know how much Marianne can help them. I thought Mariah was probably going to be the stronger female to keep around, especially when you're going down to a 4, minority in the challenges.
Did you guys notice them say that it was day 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so season 41, it was every 2 days was the rounds.
I think season 41 started, they go into tribal day 2, and then the second tribal was in day 5. So I think they switched it around this time. So day 3 and day 2.
Okay.
3 days and 2 days. Last time was 2 days and 3 days.
Oh.
Maybe.
I didn't follow it that well. I thought it was always every 2 days, or maybe towards the end when it's a little bit quicker it was. So that just shook me for a second. I thought, oh, they have an extra day to strategize. I guess my only question is, why wouldn't you put that extra day on the first round of the game? Doesn't it make more sense to have more content at the start than after one person's been medically evacuated and the other person's been eliminated? I don't know. That's a production question. Send it to William Yelton. He'll love all the messages. So we vote, and Mariah uses her shot in the dark, guys. She accurately predicted that she was going to get the votes, so she played it correctly. It didn't pay off.
I'm actually really surprised that Marianne didn't use hers as well. Like, I would have thought maybe she's just so comfortable in that tribe, but I would have thought she would have had some sort of realization that she was probably the other vote. So it surprised me that she didn't use it, considering Omar and Jonathan were really at one stage looked like they were torn because of Mariah's story as to whether they were going to vote her or Marianne. So it was a bit of a surprise she didn't use it.
This is like a Hail Mary move. Oh, Mary. But anyways, like, let's say, because we had talked about this, and I'm pretty sure it was clarified that every time a person does a shot in the dark, there are 6 parchments in there. It is completely irrelevant if somebody's already pulled one. So in theory, you can have multiple safe people in one round from the shot in the dark. So, crazy scenario, Marianne uses that shot in the dark. She gets safety. Mariah gets safety too. They go to a revote, and it's Jonathan, Omar, and Lindsay. Who
Lindsay
do you
goes.
predict? I think so too.
Yeah.
Kirk actually, they don't usually replace the scroll.
Are you
So
sure?
they don't reset the scroll. They only reset every time the new every tribal, not every vote.
But there was 6 and there's only 5 players, so wouldn't there have only been 5 scrolls?
No, they
No.
don't take that. It's 1 in
It's
6.
Oh, right.
It's 1 in 6. Yeah. Which is weird because then you get to merge and you can still use it, but it's 1 in 6, but there's 10 or 12 people. It's very weird, I think, at merge. I think we somebody discussed this, is that maybe this twist is better served at the first part of the game and maybe evaporates at merge.
Yeah.
That could be a way to play it, see what happens. But yeah, this was really fun because the two people that are targets, Mariah and Marianne, literally the same first 5 letters. I mean, the name Mariah is in Marianne. So every time somebody was writing, they could like do every letter. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So is this Survivor of the future? Like everybody's name is going to be like very close to everybody's name. So it could be like as uber dramatic as possible. Like Brendan, everybody on your tribe starts with B-R-E. Brenda, Brent.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's right. Like, it could be any combination. You know, it would make it very interesting. It's just like when you're voting out 2 people who start with J. You know, you get that slow J and it cuts away, and you're like, what on earth is going on?
This reminds me of LRG. I went to go visit last summer just for fun. They said they might need me as a backup contestant, but I was pretty much going to volunteer and help. And I get there and I'm meeting the contestants, and they don't know I'm just backup. So I'm talking amongst them as if I'm playing. And there's a guy there whose name is Kurt, like K-U-R-T. And I'm like, oh no. Oh, I hope I don't have to play. And so then they're like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, oh, my name's Kurt. And they're like, oh, yeah, how do you spell your name? K-U-R-T. No, like, what if, like, this is like dumb gameplay, but what if like I convinced somebody to spell my name wrong, but it actually was somebody else's name in the game? Is it like Jeopardy and it just counts? Like you're wrong.
Yes.
They misheard you at the start. That's their problem, not yours. So too bad.
It reminds me of the end of Big Brother Canada when the contestant wrote the wrong name down for the winner. They thought they were voting for the loser, and that literally was the vote that won somebody the game. I'm trying to remember which season this was. Classic moment. Classic. Okay, so really quick, let's do an update on the draft for LRGs this season. Here we are. Looks like Brody and Jillian are still stacked with all 4 teammates sitting on 8 points. I unfortunately lost Mariah. I think she was I think Mariah was last pick of the draft as well. So we got something right. I'm down to 7 now. And then we have our friends with 6 points. They all lost a contestant last week. So we're all still in it, but it kind of matters who gets voted out in the next couple episodes to determine who is going to win one of the live reality game buffs that we're going to send out to them. So we'll see who that is. I totally forget the preview. I completely forget what happened. Do you guys remember anything about the preview?
Yes. They don't have the commercial before. They usually have like stay tuned for seeing our next episode or something, like a preview or something. Yeah. And then you have the commercial and then the preview comes. So this is just goes straight to preview. So we know Omar and Marianne found the idol or something. So they have that reaction. And then Rockstar probably have something happen in the challenges. And then just say, this has never been happening in Survivor, blah, blah, blah. So something happened in the challenge.
But so we're for real. Tori has not found the idol.
No, it hasn't. No, it wasn't clipped. It's like I potato have skins. I have skin. Am I a potato? It just hasn't.
This is so dumb. Is this ever gonna work again? Can they ever pull this twist off ever?
No, it's dumb. But they could, but not the phrase. Maybe thing is, because I said it last season as well. Like they can make noises, make a cow noise or like moo, or like a chicken noise.
I mean, I would just think it's very bizarre. No, I mean, maybe that's me. I would automatically think that something's up. I mean, someone's just walking in saying a very random, stupid saying, then yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I would be like, vote him out. They have an idol. Like, and you could just be having like a mini stroke and just like say something on accident, and I'm gonna be like, vote him out. Vote him out. My chickens are walking on the moon tonight. Vote him out. Done with you. Like, so if I ever ended up on Survivor, do not come at me crazy, talking some crazy speak, because I'm just gonna instantly think like, oh, this is one of those new Survivor things. It's like a password. Like, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing it.
Kirk, I love the phrase that you created just now. My chicken's walking on the moon. They should hire you to be the production.
Oh, yes. If you need more of these random phrases, just hit me up at 10:14 p.m. after a couple White Claws. I have many more that can come to you for free, Survivor. You don't have to pay me. I'd love to do it for fun. Just shout out LRGs once ever. That would be amazing. We kind of did get a shout out this season, too, from Chanel earlier in her interview. Not exactly live games, but she did mention a couple of orgs, which, Brendan, you're big in that community as well. So that's kind of fun to get some of what we do kind of out there on TV. I think that's fun. Next week, episode 3 is going to be called Go for the Gusto.
It sounds like a Daniel line.
So we'll see what that means. Who's got the gusto? They've given us previews for titles up to episode 4. Episode 4 is going to be called The Vibe of the Tribe. I'm kind of getting maybe Jonathan, like he kind of gives me that hipster type of feel.
Hippie, sort of, yeah.
I could see him dealing with vibes.
I was praying for season 3 that episode 3 that Taku get their redemption moment and they're safe and they win a challenge, for God's sake, because they need to.
Same. We all can hope for this too, because otherwise we might be in for UA 2.0, 2 seasons in a row where we see a tribe get demolished. And I will back up to it. I was talking to my friend Rebecca Chatfield about this. Like 666 tribes are there's only so much you can do. I really feel like 7 is a magic number that would have made much more interesting TV. And if this was Australian Survivor, we would have seen probably tribes of 8, and there would have been a lot more. There would just be more happening. And that's the only thing that I say is sad about this season. I feel like they could cast a few more people and they'd still have an amazing group of folks.
Kirk, you should watch Australian Survivor season 2016, because it's actually 3 tribes and 8 people. Well, it didn't go too well, but there's a lot of random twists in between anyway. So,
well, I'll definitely read the Wikipedia notes.
Yes.
I probably have before and forgot them, just like Mike forgot where the idol is. And let's see if he can actually find it next week. Doesn't look like it. Vince, man, it is always a good time. Oh, this is an interesting question from Snyder. Do you think Australia will ever do 4 tribes?
No.
That would be different.
No. I think the production has said 3 tribes a bit too confusing for the casuals. So if 3 tribes too confusing, I don't think they're ever going to do 4 tribes.
I agree. I've been to Survival Challenge and helped do videos for that. And when I'm watching 4 tribes, I get confused. Throw a swap in there, I don't know what's happening. It's pretty much merged. They just can't talk. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. Okay, that's it for Survivor episode 2 breakdown. Brendan, it was awesome getting to hang out with you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
No worries at all. Thanks, guys.
And we'll definitely be following you and your adventures in Canberra as they go on. There's a couple little things that we could talk about as well. Melbourne, you guys did a dynamic duos event recently.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
How did that go, Vince?
Because I was an organizer, so and Harper was in there as well. Brendan was in there as well. It went well. Harper, you love the challenges, you love the experience, right?
I surprised myself. I'm the new challenge beast of trial. I mean, who would have thought it? Not me. So it was great. It was actually one of the best times I've ever played. So I actually really, really enjoyed it.
Dude, that's so great to hear. I love listening to a player that makes like a journey arc. Think of your like one of your beginning interviews is the exact opposite sentence where you're like, I can play this game. I might not be able to play the challenges, but like socially, strategically, I got the chops. But you like totally dogged yourself in regards to challenges. So that is so cool to hear somebody have that realization.
I mean, I played a trial, the same location, 12 months previous to Dynamic Duos, and I was the first boot. So I didn't get a chance to do much. So, this time I thought, hell, let's just do it.
That's awesome, man. One other thing to talk about right quick is Survivor Michigan All-Stars is starting soon. Survivor Michigan's where we kind of started on this channel. They were the first college Survivor to reach out with us to cover content and start making that. Check out their Twitter. There's an epic bracket battle for favorite player of all time. This is big for the Survivor Michigan community. This is their All-Stars. They are bringing back the best of the best. And if you want to check it out, go to their Twitter. It's Survivor Michigan All-Stars, their epic bracket battle. That's going to be it for this week, folks. Vince, Brendan, it's been a blast. We shall see you soon with more unwanted opinions from the Live Reality Games team.
Yes.
We'll be seeing you next week, same time for episode 3. Peace out, folks.